All right, let's see if everything's working here so far. Of course, I'll wait for the chat to let me know if the sound's coming through on the system, if you can hear me, all those good things. So if we sound like the sound is good, probably work in a correctional facility. I feel like I work in that sometimes myself. But actually, my cousin was working in Greenhaven prison by me, and not an easy job. So huge respect to you on that, because that is not an easy job. Just let me know in the chat if my audio is coming through okay. Sounds good. Awesome. Hey, Paul. Triumph or Die is here. Michael B is here. And, well, what I'm going to be doing today is really giving more of an update video on everything that's been going on. There's been so much stuff going behind the scenes. I thought I would get started and maybe doing a video. So, again, trying something new here with different camera angles and such. So right now we're going to be talking about the Viper and R-Cade, and I guess Batacera as well. So I'm going to take you guys over here. I got you on my cell phone here so I can look down at the chat and see what you guys are writing here. And right now I am connected to my Viper. If you can see my controller, let me see if I can get my controller over here. Can't really see too well myself. Let me see what I'm doing over here. Hopefully this will come. There it is. Whoop. I'm using an Xbox Bluetooth controller, going over Bluetooth to my Viper. And you can see right now the Viper is on my my TV here. And at the very top, with my little pet dragon there, you could see an Link pixel display. And that's also connected to the Viper. If I go back and forth to different things, you'll see it does update on the top. Now, there is a slight delay in the updates, and actually it's updating on mine. Why aren't you guys seeing the update? Did the camera freeze? There we go. So the camera that's going to the big pixel display up top is going over NDI, so there is a delay. There is no delay from my perspective. It's instantaneous, but when you see I change, let's say, to Wolfenstein 3D, it's instant for me. There's a delay for you guys just because the way that camera is set up. It's kind of weird how NDI works. I never noticed that long of a delay. There it goes, just updated. Normally it was like a second delay, but it's been really a big delay there. I just want you guys just to see that you can see the white border around the screen. So the Viper has, you can see here, my INSAINE Target Pro is working. So the goal here with Viper is to make sure that, you know, the Target Pro works, that the bit pixel display works up top, that the Star Wars flight yoke, the Ikari Warriors. So the big thing with the Viper here is that it is pretty much set out of the box to work with all the different controllers here. So the Viper originally, and again, I know you guys may be seeing a delay, so I'm not doing my face on the camera. I'm using an NDI video source. So the camera you're seeing right here, my hand's going in front right now, will be a delay because it's going over an NDI network to my computer. And then obviously the display that shows the bit pixels. So just want you guys to understand that for me, this is in real time. For you guys, there is probably maybe a 2 or 3 second delay when I change something on one of the screens before you see it, just because this is not direct USB video. It's going over a different network. But again, right now, I'm trying to still get my setup here better for streaming and doing live streams and everything else. So I do apologize for the video as far as delays go, but enough about that. So that's just explaining that. So you can see right here, this is actually a prototype Viper here on the table. You see my finger there in a second, I guess. And that does have 32 gigabytes of onboard eMM storage and 2 gigabytes of RAM, an R-Cade 3566 chipset. And originally on board, we were going to install Batocera. And the reason we chose Batocera was because Batocera really has a lot of nice features. Excuse me, a lot of nice features in there. But you know, I've been trying to work with the Batocera team. I know they have their own, forums to go into and stuff like that. But I sent them all my products, and actually, you know, they really are too busy. I mean, they're working on a grander scale, but for what I need, they're not able to do anything that I need to make sure my product is good for you guys. So we found another group of guys who run R-Cade. Now, R-Cade's still running Emulation Station, and you know, they worked with Batocera team, but we basically were able to get much quicker updates, changes, and fixes using R-Cade. So we made the decision very recently to really forego Batocera, and then we still have Batocera 3.8, but we're not going to ship with it. It's still, we made it, it's available. But I'm going to be honest, the R-Cade is a much superior product. And like I said, we'll be able, I'm going to show you a bunch of different things about R-Cade right now. It's kind of what this video is going to be about. But we're able to work with them a lot better. They're now an official partner. If you go to the R-Cade site, and I'll put a link down below in the show notes, that you will see that we're on their website as well. So they're basically business partners working with GRS and T-Sticks. So again, I just want to show kind of like where we're going. So originally, the Viper and the keyboard switcher for R-Cade was supposed to ship this month. We are going to delay it a month. It'll be August. So I'm sorry about that, but we're switching gears, shifting from Batocera 3.8 to R-Cade, and we're basically all I've been doing the past couple of days is a lot of bug testing and feature testing in R-Cade right here. So that's kind of where that delay is, and I understand it kind of is not great news that we're delaying 1 month, but that 1 month delay is going to allow us to make sure you guys have a much better experience. The Viper itself is a retro gaming SBC. Okay, so what that basically means is I had a vision of a very low cost but very powerful single board computer that we can use in the build-a-cades, which is originally what it was designed for. Originally, this all happened during the shortage, during the pandemic, where it was very hard to get the Raspberry Pi, and we thought we could come, how silly we are being, you know, non-business people. We thought we'd come relatively quick with our own SBC, but you know, the pandemic is long over. We're now in 2024, but the SBC is ready to go, and we've now blossomed it past just being for the Build-A-Cade. This is going to be basically our computer for a bunch of different items, which I'm going to be talking about in the future. I mean, obviously you guys do know about the Build-A-Cade and the R-Cade. Those are the first two things we're touching base in. But the point about the Viper is that it's going to be a product line. So this one here is powerful and inexpensive, but it's not the most powerful, but it's also not the most expensive. So this particular Viper, you're probably talking about some Dreamcast, some PlayStation 1, some full motion video 3DO games, and older machines, but still thousands and thousands and thousands of games. But it's not going to run the latest and the greatest. Now, again, this is using the RK35 chipset. We are working on an RK3588 chipset, and that'll be the Viper Venom. So this is just the standard Viper, but the Viper Venom will be the one if you guys really want a high-end, super powerful SBC. But of course, that'll come at a cost. We're talking the Viper right now is going for $39, and it's very powerful. It has a very good GPU if the emulators are set up for it. But if you're really looking for a no-holds-barred CPU, that'll be the Viper Venom, which will be coming out later, which is a 3588. But let's go about what we have here right now. I do see people in the chat here, and Trump or Die, that's my thing. I don't want to release Trump or Die. Basically said I'd rather it be delayed than better. We're not delaying it a huge amount. We're hoping just 1 month, just so we can make sure that R-Cade, which you're seeing right here, is running properly. And it's set up the way we want it to be. We want you guys to have a very good experience. And again, I'm going to go through all the special things that R-Cade does have. And again, just for people just joining, the bit pixel display up top, there is a slight delay, as well as maybe what I'm talking about, which you're seeing on the other monitor, because they're not USB cameras. They're going over an NDI, which is my network. So I'm trying different things out. So I just want you to understand that there is a delay. So if I'm talking about something, it may not be on screen for you guys immediately. And Michael B is asking, can it be upgraded down the road? That's the whole point. We do want this. We do want this thing to be upgradable, an upgradable path. So the answer is yes. And we do see a custom arcade here. Now, a custom arcade is part of the GRS T-Sticks family. And he wants you guys to know, don't forget the PSP. So they made a lot of effort to make sure the PlayStation Portable, like Gods of War, was like our go-to game, that the Viper could do the PSP. And I believe they got it running, I think 30 frames per second, if I'm not mistaken. Of course, Custom Arcade will give more details on that. But the PSP will play on the GRS Viper using R-Cade. So again, I'm just showing you really quick a bunch of systems I have put in here right now, and it was done very easily. I'm going to go into that as well, because another issue with newbies, again, we're trying to do this for not only for people who are fluent in retro gaming stuff, but also people who are new. So the whole point of R-Cade is we're trying to make it as simple as possible for everyone. So I'm just going to reboot the machine here. I'm not sure if my capture card will take it up properly, but I guess we're going to find out. I just want you to see how it starts up. I'm going to restart the system right now, and hopefully everything comes up okay. This is basically what you guys would get. You're first turning on your machine. This is kind of what you're going to see. You can see that the boot up time is relatively fast. And again, the white light ring you're seeing around the screen is because my Sinden Target Pro is connected. It will recognize you connecting a Sinden Target Pro. It'll obviously recognize trackballs and spinners. And again, we're having the team work on the GRS Ikari Warriors Super Joystick, as well as the GRS Flight Yoke. We want basically any one of our products to be connected to a Viper to kind of be recognized and kind of set up for those particular games. Now, again, probably not every single game, but the primary games will work, and then you can always go into the menus and make changes. But again, this is running on Emulation Station, and let's just go through some of the menus. If I go over here, you can see there is Kodi in here, which you could do like media streaming. You know, if you're doing things like, you know, want to play videos or music, you could do that. We obviously have NetPlay Lobby, different game settings, the user interface. Again, this is all still built off of Emulation Station to begin with. Hey, Jason, see you joining as well. Happy you able to make it. I really should probably make more set times, you guys kind of know, but it's kind of like when I have a chance to do a video, I want to stream it. You can see R-Cade Emulation Station version 2.0.1. So this is basically a build I literally got installed a couple hours ago. So it was basically a bug fix release for a couple of small things, but pretty much R-Cade is ready to go. We're just making sure everything is working as best we can. And another point of note is that we will be able to do over-the-air updates, which is kind of nice. You don't have to completely take out your SD card and reflash the whole device. You will be able to do over-the-air updates, which is, I think, a lot easier for a lot of people. We have system settings. We'll go into all these different menus in a bit. Input settings, refresh all game lists, and of course, quit. And again, all these different things can be changed, just like emulation can be. Now, you can see if I go into, let's say, Sinclair CX Spectrum, you can also see it on the bit pixel display. Hopefully, it'll pop up for you guys in just a second. You guys will see that did change. And if I go in there, I only got the one game in this one, so I'm gonna back out. Wasn't a good example. Let's go over a little bit like Virtual Boy. I know a lot of people have some hate for the Virtual Boy. It's one of my favorite systems, so I'm going to talk about that a little bit. So I'm going to go into the Virtual Boy here, and you can see here there are the games and the game art, and as you make changes to the game, the bit pixel display, if you do have one from Link, will make updates. And again, you can change how the machine responds. It's all very customizable, which is a really good thing. Personally, I really did enjoy the Virtual Boy, especially when people were selling it on like eBay for $15 non-working, when the solder fix is actually really easy to do. In fact, that was one of the people who was originally doing the solder fixes on the Virtual Boy and the Virtual Boy forums. But very easy to back out. Go to another system. Vectrex here, it goes right in, and you can see the Vectrex is here. Now, the one thing about the Vectrex that is, I would like to see, like if I go into one of these games, if I go in here right now into a game, I'm ask you if you want to extract it, because all these games are zipped. Say sure. And do I want it to always do it? I'm going to say sure. And just leave it that way. But when you go into the Vectrex, the emulators, as far as I know, don't, at least not all of them, put the overlay over it. It's always black and white. And part of the, right now it's just, black and white. It's not showing the overlay. So that's just something I'd like to get fixed, so that when you're playing a game, you see the actual overlay that you did need when playing these games. It's half the fun of effect. But again, I'm just using an Xbox controller right now, and I haven't played this game in forever. And I already died. Don't hit the walls. Don't hit the walls. Or get shot. Oh my god. Okay, I suck. For a guy who's into gaming like I am, I just can't play these games at all. Okay, I suck at this game. So we're gonna go out. Again, I just wanted to show you how easy it is to go in and pick a game, just like you would with anything else. And I'm gonna go back here again to my main menu. And one of the cool things that we just got working really is Open Bot or Open BOT. And, it's pretty cool because they have some really cool games. Like they have the He-Man game and the Justice League Unlimited game, which I'm going for a second. Now, we're working on a couple little fixes here still with the He-Man one. Hopefully it does run okay. But it's just kind of cool. Open bore, just playing open bore on here. It looks really good. It plays fantastic as far as the speed goes. Great show from the 80s.
defender of the secrets of Castle Grayskull. This is Cringer, my fearless
I mean, the game, I mean, these aren't like, you know, AAA games, but it's still, these are fun games. I think I have more fun with the Justice League Unlimited game, but it's still kind of cool going in here and trying to go against Skeletor or Hordak. And the other cool thing is with R-Cade and the Viper, you can actually do 4K videos on here if you want to, you know, make it a media streaming box, which is kind of cool as well. Put your soundtracks on here. Now, again, right now, the R-Cade is now taking place of a Batocera on the internal eMMC storage. So right now, all the games will download to the internal storage. When we have the public release, you will be able to store your ROMs on an external SD card or an external flash card, which I think is very important because some people may have very large collections. But the Comfort Die has the power. But for right now, getting started, the 32 gigabytes of onboard eMMC will definitely get you started playing these games. And if I press start here, hey, how you doing? How you doing? There you go. Start the game. Start in Eternia. And you pick your character. Good old. See, I always like Skeletor, man. I mean, you know, he's, I don't know, something about Skeletor. Look at they have a Thundercat. Look at that. But we'll do Prince Adam. That damn Hordak. For, you know, just for you people to know, I know Hordak was with She-Ra, Princess of Power, but he originally was designed and supposed to have been just on He-Man show. But then when they were going to release Hordak, they decided that maybe girls would like their own version. They came up with She-Ra. Then Hordak became bad guy on She-Ra's show. But he originally was a He-Man villain. And again, I'm not too familiar with everything that's, you know, how you play this game. It's one of those things I kind of found, like, oh, I'll give it a shot. There's a little bug in here, I think. Try that again. Or maybe I went back to the loading screen. Maybe that's what that was. I guess that's the loading screen. Let's go here. Maybe it's not a bug. Maybe it's just me being a dum-dum. So I don't know what I'm doing, aside from just running things over. But they have good music in here, and I think the animation looks pretty good. But no idea what I'm doing. So that's the thing. Again, for a retro gamer, I'm more of the Pong, Breakout, Phoenix, Asteroids era. When it comes to these things, I just press buttons and look at the pretty visuals, you know? But it's just cool. I mean, it runs so smooth, which again is what you guys want. You don't have a system that's going to be laggy or dropping frames. And we're doing our best to make sure with the emulators we support that they run absolutely optimally on the Viper. And again, R-Cade and, you know, Custom R-Cade, they are very much in the know with the system they created, and they can make sure it's optimized for the Viper, which is why we're switching really from Batocera to really just focusing really in R-Cade and partnering up with R-Cade and working as a partner. So I'm going to escape out of here. Let's end the game. Back out. And the other game I have on here is Justice League Unlimited. It takes a little while to load, but maybe I'll show you a little bit later. But it's a very, very fun game. But if I go into, let's say, Nintendo, because I have my Sin and Target Pro installed, you know, one of the games people always want to see is Duck Hunt. I mean, it's a Nintendo classic. So right now, again, I was using my Xbox controller, but I'm going to put that down. And I'm going to switch over to my Sin Target Pro. And we'll start the game here, hopefully. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Hope you guys can see. You can put a target on the screen, which I do because I suck. Still missed. you can see this is supported natively. The INSAINE Target Pro on Viper with R-Cade. Just plug it in, it's recognized, and you're pretty much ready to go. And I do need, I like the target on here because my eyes are the worst. But again, the whole point is to make this easy. You guys don't want to have to mess around and futz with everything. You want to plug this stuff in and start playing games. And that's a big thing. Controllers, obviously, are key, but being able to actually just play the games and spend weeks trying to figure it out is the next. So that's another big advantage of R-Cade and the Viper and T-Sticks partnership, is that we're going to make sure, to the best of our ability, that things are ready to go and work. Whoops, totally missed. Ah! At least I got one. Ah! That was totally me. Ha ha ha! You know, I don't have the reflexes of you know, 15-year-old when I got the NES back in the day. 84, I think was I got it. 85, whatever it was. I was like 14 or 15 years old. Whenever they launched it in New York State, because that was the original pilot state for the NES. But mine was actually Duck Hunt and Gyromite, because I got Rob, my robotic operating buddy. Oh, yeah. He got away. There we go. Yeah, doing a little bit better now. Get those reflexes back, you know? And again, the Viper right now is natively supporting the Target Pro. It's, oh my God. Oh, I missed them all. I can't talk and shoot at the same time. If I had gum, I'd be really in bad shape. Trackballs and spinner. Oh my God. I got one. Ha-ha! A little better. A little better. Aha! I didn't think I was going to get him. Oh, you suck. Oh, boy, I'm blowing it now. The game's going to be over. Yep, game over. But the point is that the Viper is set to just run and play this game. So I'm going to exit Duck Hunt here and show you a couple other things. So if I go over here and I disconnect my INSAINE Target Pro, which is this cable right here, it'll take a minute. It'll recognize the gun was removed, and the white border will obviously go away. It takes maybe 5 or 6 seconds for it to go. And let me back out of here. Whoops, didn't want to do that. Okay, the border went away. So you can see it in the upper left-hand corner, GRS Viper R-Cade, all fun, no work. And that's what it's the driving force behind the R-Cade is. We don't want you guys to have to work to get the games to work. They really should just kind of work. So that brings me to another thing I want to talk about. I'm going to go back into the menu here, and let's show you a couple things. If I go into the system settings right here, we have a bunch of different things. There's a support menu here, where if you do have a problem, you can generate a support log and send that to us. So we can kind of find out, what's going on. We can reset the whole unit. Tell you a little bit about R-Cade itself. There is a license agreement which you have to acknowledge and accept to install any of the emulators or the games here. Let me go back here to a minute. Let's go back. We have different things like boot settings. You know, there is not currently an overclock on the Viper right now, but who knows what'll happen down in the future. Different things. Again, making things easy with little push buttons. You want to start in Kodi because you want to play videos initially. You could just do that. But there's a thing called accessory settings, and that's here. So I forgot to mention the GRS gate switcher. How can I forget the GRS gate switcher? So R-Cade also supports natively the GRS, obviously, gate switcher. So if you turn this on, and in the games, I say go to Pac-Man. You can go into Pac-Man and say, yep, that's a 4-way switched game. And you can have it then automatically, when you go into these games, when you go into Pac-Man, it becomes 4-player. You go to, I don't know, Gradius, it goes back to 8-way. So you can still press the button manually to set the gate to the mode. But with R-Cade, you can have it done for you, which is a good thing. It's less you have to do. And obviously, bit pixel support is on, and you're seeing it in the upper corner of the screen, showing that, you know, it will change the displays, pixel support, how you want it, what you want it to display. All these different options are here. And of course, if you do have it enabled, you can download an artwork pack. You don't have to go find the artwork pack and audit it. You can actually download the pack right here in the menu on R-Cade on the GRS Viper. To go back a little bit here again. And video settings, another cool thing. So video out as default. You can change the resolution. Obviously, the higher the resolution, the more the GPU has to work. But you can see I do have it running at 1920 by 1080 and have no problems with frames per second at all with the emulators I got here. But you can change it if you want. Default games for the games 800 by 600. Kodi resolution is default, which is going to be the 1920 by 1080. But another cool thing that's really easy to do is right here. So one of the big things with LCD screens, unlike CRTs, is that sometimes some of these monitors stretch further out than they really should. So you can actually go in here and very easily just adjust it. You can do it right here, and then you can recenter your display. So you can do left and right, up and down. It's very easy here. And then you could do an offset. So when you shrink the screen, it may be too much to the left. If you go here, move it to the right. So very easy to do. You don't have to go with any keyboard commands. You don't have to go into like a text file and guess, reboot and try it, guess, reboot and try it. This is more like Windows. We can just go right in, make the changes and see in real time. And it'll say, hey, you like the resolution? Yes, keep it. No, I'll put it back the way it was. So again, very easy to do. Obviously, I want you to play the splash screen. Of course, you can change the splash screen, but why would you want to? We have a great splash screen on there. My ghetto version in R-Cade's nice one that's on there, which is great. Animations on, adjust for widescreen. So that's under video. Of course, I didn't make any changes. I thought what I did, because I did change the video back, left, and right. So it's going to ask before I want to keep it. And I didn't really make any changes, so I can keep it the way it is. But you can see it does ask, do you want to keep or revert? I'm just going to say revert because there was nothing wrong. We had it before. But again, it's like Microsoft Windows, that it gives you an option to see the changes. And it's very easy to go back. You don't have to remember what you had in before. It undid the changes, which is fine. So I'm going to go back, exit out here, like so. And then there's audio settings. Now, right now, I'm going over HDMI, but we do support headphone jack out. If you want to go to more high-powered speakers, you can tell it, instead of going to the internal HDMI port, go to the external headphone jack. You can also adjust the volume here. Now, if you have the Arcade, obviously you can adjust the volume settings there with the volume buttons. But you can also do it here, gameless volume. I like the background music that they put here, so I leave that to on. Default right now is the HDMI. But if you wanted to go over the headphone jack, you would set it here, the analog RK809, and that would pump the audio out of the headphone jack, and you go to high-powered speaker stereo. Of course, this is over HDMI, which is what the default is going to be. Repeat songs, music library, randomized background music. It doesn't really matter. I kind of let it go the way it goes. game list audio, mute screensaver audio, and back out of here. Now we have network settings. This is where you would set up your Wi-Fi. Mine's actually set up right now as well, but just go in right here. The Viper, again, for cost and space concerns, we did not include an RJ45 connector because it adds height and weight and cost. So most people use Wi-Fi, and they'll be able to download games over Wi-Fi, which I'll show you in a little bit. And so we didn't include Ethernet. So maybe we could sell a dongle if people really want it, but to be honest, the point of the Viper, it's cost. We're meeting all expectations for that, so we didn't include Ethernet. And again, who doesn't have Wi-Fi these days, or a way to get onto Wi-Fi, even if it's over your cell phone? Security settings, external device action. So again, right now, you can mount external or internal drives. Right now, the Viper, in my particular build, everything has to be on the internal eMMC, but the released version will let you put or copy the ROMs to an external micro SD card, or over USB to a hard drive, or some other storage medium like a thumb drive. But that's not my current build right here. Accessory settings is where it gets really, really good. Again, you have the GRS gate restrictors for 8-way. I have that turned on. I don't have a gate restrictor attached right now, but if you did, when you get into a game that like Pac-Man, it would automatically set you to 4-way. And if you're playing a game like Gradius, we'll go back to 8-way. So that's built in. Obviously, big pixel support, I talked about many times already, is built in as well. So you can see the Al-Link's display up there. And Al-Link makes great things. He made them for the iArcades, the Arcade 1-Ups, all different machines. So definitely take a look. He's got full color screens. Mine is the older version, like you would see on a billboard. But I kind of like that look. That's all turned on. And then how you want it to display. And again, you can just download the R-Pack right here. You don't have to go searching for the R-Pack. If you have the bid pixel connected, just go here and download the R-Pack internally. Now, this is what I was saying before. So right now, I'm running on a pre-release version of R-Cade. But when a full production comes out, you just click on this right here, and it will search automatically. Congratulations, I'm already running the latest version of R-Cade. But if there was an update, I don't need to get another SD card. I don't need to burn it all over again. I don't need to do any of those things. I can just go right here, click on this. It'll download the upgrade. Done. Now, it does ask you, and you probably should, if you want to back up whatever you had on before, in case something does go wrong. So you can do that during this process, and I recommend you always back up your stuff, and then you complete the upgrade. But again, the point is that the upgrade path is right here, easy to get to and easy in the menu of what you need. Go back again. So now we have game settings. Did I go through here yet? I didn't. So just a way to display the artwork on here. If you didn't get artwork on here for some reason, you can do search on here. So you can do different things for files, folders. You don't need to look at this stuff. Show the frame rate. Want to see what the Viper is doing as far as frame rates and emulators, you could turn that on. Moonlight server. I'm not familiar with that myself, but I'm sure that a custom arcade can maybe enlighten us what that's actually used for. The graphic scraper for any missing artwork. Game collections. RetroX settings. And this is the big deal right here. It's called Game Downloader. Now, no game, well, I shouldn't say that. There is one game included with your Viper because we have a license for the new adventures of Robbie Roto, and that will be included in the build. But if you do accept the license agreement, there are terms here as well. So not all of these are actually active, but some of them are. So if you want to pull down like Atari 2600 games, you can click say on that, and you have to read and agree to this notice because this is totally on you guys. Okay, we're just trying to make it easy for you guys, but we're not taking responsibility for this. The one game on this licensed, any games you have that you want to get is on you. But if you agree to these terms, the downloadable games are not hosted by the arcade servers or the T-Stick servers. We have no association with the ROMs. Download from publicly available websites. Arcade affiliates, which would be us, are not legally responsible on how you choose to use the game downloader. You agree to only downloading games that you own and are legally entitled to. And this is totally on to you guys. You say, yep, I agree. And you can go right now. There's different options. You can select games to download, save the device, and then download the games. If I go right in here, I can pick individual games like 3D Genesis. You can see there's an X there, or this game. Now, actually, I don't have this or this, so I really shouldn't download that. Let's see a game I do actually own. I do have Adventure. It's one of my favorite games of all time. Or, like I said, if you did, let's say, had the entire library, you're one of those collectors, you go right here, and it would select everything entirely. But I'm going to select none. I'm going to go back up here. Actually, I also have Berserk. I'll take Berserk. And then I will go to back. And then I can go where it's going to. So I guess they did change it. So I didn't realize they did this here. All right, see, mine is still only to internal. So this will be an option eventually, internal or external. Right now, I can only do it to the internal. And then I would simply click on this, and it would download that automatically to the internal EMC or the external storage, and with the artwork. So it would download the art pack, so forth, for that particular game. Now, I'm not going to do that because I already have these games, but you can see, again, not everything here is available. But if you go through the list and you are legally entitled to some of these games, you can click on it, and it'll automatically download this information to your Viper with the artwork. But again, this is on you. The only game we're able to do legally is the the new adventures of Robbie Roto. But if you do have these games, you pay for the games, you're entitled to games on a system, you can get them here easily. You don't have to search on the internet. You just get them and download them right onto your Viper. But again, this is a thing that's completely up to you guys. It's service that is here, but you have to be legally entitled to the games that you download. But again, just because you see it on the list here does not mean it'll be something that's available to download. Maybe in the future it could be, but we tried to make things as easy as possible. Like right now, Vectrex is open to the public. It's a public domain. So you could go in here completely, go in here. You could select all the games back. And I've already have it on here. I don't think it'll be a problem. You can see right now it's going to download the games, and it's scraping the games as well. Again, the Vectrex is public domain. Everyone is welcome to gather them and put them on their machine. I don't have the license to do it because it's a public product. But once you have it in your hands, you're more than welcome to download the games for the Vectrex. Again, they are public domain. You can see it's downloading the games, going relatively quickly over Wi-Fi. And I don't have very good Wi-Fi in the house. I also have like 500 security cameras in the house. So between everything I run in here, it's still going fairly quick, and it says scraping. And what it's doing is it's bringing down the game, but it's also taking any artwork for, displaying in the front end. It'll be here. Okay, so Moonlight, I guess I forgot that. So Moonlight is a generic version of a Steam Link. You're not limited to just Steam titles. You can stream from any PC game. I totally forgot about that. I don't do a lot of streaming. I'm not a person who likes streaming games. I'm a person who likes having physical copies of games and playing those. But I guess that's kind of neat. If you did have maybe a more powerful PC playing some high quality game, you could stream it to your Viper on whatever machine it's installed in and go there. You can see we're almost done. We're at 23 of 36 games. And it's still going. But again, you didn't have to go search the internet. You didn't have to manually copy to a particular ROM folder, figuring out where the artwork has to go, figuring out where the ROM has to go. That's already handled for you in the front end. We're almost done. We're at 29 of 36. And again, if you have better Wi-Fi, again, my Wi-Fi is not tremendous in my house. It'll obviously go a lot faster. Almost there. 35, 36. Scraping the last game. And now it says game downloading complete. 36 downloaded successfully. Just reload the game list. And I had them here already, but you can see they're here. And of course, my bit pixel display is also updating for the games that are on here as well. So again, it's just an easy way to get games brought over to your Viper, whether it's in the II-Arcade, whether it's in your Build-A-Cade, whether it's in American Gear Company's machines, whether it's in your own custom project. It's just an easy way to get games on there. Make sure I did everything in here. So that was under game settings. That was everything that was in here. Of course, there's UI settings. And again, this is all different things you can change, the carousel settings and how you want things to go. Everything is very customizable in Arcade because, again, Emulation Station is very customizable. Here's a big one for a lot of these games. Swap those A and B buttons. You know, when you're playing Mario Brothers, man, I can't get behind when those buttons are wrong. So you have the option here to swap the A and B buttons. Go back here. Now, system settings, like we went to before, it's just the support menus. We did this one already. Input settings, configuring a controller. Now, right now, it says, you know, it's very easy. I paired my Bluetooth controller. I had a horrible time with my Raspberry Pi and Emulation Station. I never was able to get my Bluetooth controller to connect. It was just me. I spent time, I researched, I couldn't get it to work. With Arcade, I put this in pairing mode, found it right away, connected, done. So if you had a problem with getting your Bluetooth controller to work, hopefully with Arcade here, again, mine's an Xbox controller. It worked great. You can see my Player One, it said it's an Xbox controller. There's nothing else connected. But if I had my Sinden Target Pro or another controller, you'd have an option to pick that as well. You can see we have 4 players, keyboard mappings, light guns, trackballs, mice, and spinners. How many times you had a hard time getting a trackball or a spinner just to work in Emulation Station with Missile Command or Centipede or those type of games? Well, we're trying to make it easier here. Everything is set here. Player One mice and spinners right now set to default. You can obviously make changes. I have none connected right now, so it's not going to show me anything. Trackball settings, optical devices, UI controls, crosshairs for like the light guns or trackball. Restart the light gun services. We try to make everything here easy for you guys to do. And there's advanced input settings here. Restart the Bluetooth services if need be, keyboard, all this stuff here is just trying to make it easier for you guys to navigate everything and make it easier for you guys. I just saw our Nick's here. Oh my God, Glenn, can we copy our IRK ROMs to the Viper? You know, I don't see why not if you have them. I think custom arcades and maybe that would be able to answer you better on to whether those ROMs would be compatible. I haven't done it, so I don't know. We also have a cool thing here. This is really, really cool. How many times you wondered if a button was working, or if the joystick was working, or if it's even being seen? This was a really cool feature that Arcade put in here. Test device mapping. It's similar to the II-Arcade, you know, testing controllers. You can go in here with your device connected, and you can basically check if your buttons are working, if the joystick is working. That's a cool thing. That's a really, really cool thing. When you have something connected and you don't know if it's working or not, that's a huge deal. So I appreciate that was put in, I think, 1 or 2 test versions, test images ago. But I'm really glad it's here because I was having some issues with one of my controllers, and it turned out it was a stuck button on the controller. I didn't know that. I wasn't sure if it was being seen or if it was a problem with Arcade, if it was a bug, but it was not. It was actually a stuck button on one of my controllers. That's cool that was in there. Go back out of here. Of course, you can refresh your game lists or quit. So I'm going to back out of that. And we can see we have a bunch of different games here. You know, PC Engine. I'm going to go inside here. All the games that are listed in here. Now, I love Bomberman 94. It's one of my favorite games. If you have four people, you can go in and play that. But the PC Engine is one of my. I know people like the NES, but I like the TurboGrafx better. It's just a better machine. And it's just such a simple game, but the game's a big pain in the ass because, you know, sometimes you get stuck with the bomb's in the wrong spot, you know what I mean, for it to go where it went, and you get trapped. Let's see here. All we got to do here is just, lay bombs. Oh, lay bombs. If I do the right button here. There we go. And you get different power-ups. But if you do it wrong and you get trapped by your own bomb, my little horse creature here. Oh, bomb! Get out of the way. Sometimes they can kick things. I assume he's a bomb kicker. Let's see. Oh, he's a fast runner. Okay. So drop a bomb here. An object is to get these green crystals. Which I'm going to blow this one up right now. But there's different power-ups you can get if you get lucky. Gotta kill this guy. He's a pain in the ass. Get him! Dang it. Try it again. Uh-oh. Get him! Get him! No! See? That's what I'm saying. You get screwed. Oh, I'm dead. So this is kind of my thing. Cole kicks my butt in this game all the time. Because no matter how well I plan myself, I tend to screw up. No more horsey. Oh, come on, get him, get him, get him. Aha, I got you that time, you scum sucker. So you kind of go around here and see if you can find maybe other bombs or other gadgets. A lot of times there's nothing. You won't know unless you try. And of course you're timed. So the longer you take doing this, the less bonus points you get at the end. But as you get powerful with a lot of extra bombs or a lot of extra speed, you don't mind those times to leave these flowers to collect later. I don't know what this rabbit does. He just sends there fake punches you. I'm going to blow him up. He's dead. Come on, get him, get him, get him. Nice. So technically when I do this, I can now go and get that crystal in the middle. But I would like to find some additional power-ups. Ah, okay. I'm not sure what the blue one does. Maybe he's a kicker? Yes, he'll kick the bomb. That's a cool feature to have. I'm really surprised I'm not finding more things to enhance my skill. Ah, okay. That makes my flame longer. Flame on! There. Okay, I might as well just complete the level. I'm going to go in here and complete the level. And then I can collect those flowers for coins. If you play on your route, usually you'll get them all. I'm probably not going to get them all. Do the best I can. Oh, maybe I will. Ah, no, no way. I should have got them all for you, dum-dum. And then the object is to put all these pieces down, and then when you get all the pieces, you go to the next level. You're trying to fix your world that was cracked. All right, let's go here. Drop my bomb. I hate this guy. Oh, I hate this guy. Hate him. Hate him with a passion. Oh! Almost got myself. Uh-oh. Oh, look at that. I got two at once. I'm happy with that. But I've only got one bomb still. I can't do multiple bombs, which is a bummer. If I could trap this scum. Oh! 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 No! Ah! Come on, get him! Get him! This Xbox controller sucks. I'm telling you, that's a problem. It ain't me. It's this Xbox controller. All right, so nothing more I can really get here. I'll try one more, see if I get a special gift. There we go. At least I got 2 bombs now. I'm not gonna do 2. 1, 2. Come on, Xbox controller, get him! You suck. No! All right, so that's good old Bomberman. Let's get out of there for a second. Go back. So that's basically where we are right now. So we are absolutely releasing the Viper. We're delaying it 1 month just to make sure we get any issues or bugs or glitches that may be in the build, which really isn't anything really now. It's really just, I guess, tightening up and make sure everything is good. But that's it. I think you guys would be much happier with R-Cade over Batocera. Again, we'll be able to much more quickly work with any issues you might have. But you can play movies. The only thing right now is the splash video. But you can put movies in here. It'll do 4K movies on here. The GPU is capable of doing it. That's it. So I'm going to switch around to a different camera that's not so delayed, and see if I can answer any of you guys' questions here. So let me see if I can swing around here and come over here, and let's go back. Take this back here. Pretty nice game on. Game on! Flame on! And of course, did not bring any other cameras here? I'm not sure if I did. Let me go over here. Can I add a camera? That's the big question. Can Glenn add a camera? Probably should have did this before. Didn't think of it. Let me see if I can. Looks like I can, but you guys can hear me. So I'm just going to look at the comments. If you guys have any questions before I end the stream, ask any questions you want, and I'll try. And I'll keep forgetting to say. So again, in the lower left-hand corner, if you guys are interested, it won't be going on much longer. If you're interested in a Build-A-Cade, with the code TMG50, you'll get 50% off, basically $50 off a Build-A-Cade. You can get a Build-A-Cade for $49.99. Obviously plus shipping, but it's an incredible deal. If you have a Raspberry Pi at home, it's just in a regular case, for $50, it becomes the best Raspberry Pi case on the planet, and it's playable. So again, you might want to grab one of those. And of course, everything else on the site, aside from the Ikari Warriors Super Joystick, is on sale 30% off. And got some questions here. I'm not even paying attention. Let's see what we got here going on here. Do you know if the speaker hiss I experienced in my R-Cade as a stock board will be removed? Probably not. We actually incorporated the same circuit from them, so that hiss unfortunately will still be there. I'm actually surprised no one came out with a little fix, like a Faraday cage or something like that, to get rid of that hiss. But right now, I'm sorry, Jason, the hiss still going to be there. It's how the machine was designed. It's going to be there. Retro Center, hey, he's here too. Look at this. With code, you can install video streaming add-ons as well. Many offer free streaming options, but there are online walkthroughs for adding Netflix and Amazon Video. I didn't know that either. I don't do a lot of streaming, so I'm really good. So Retro Center is here, and the custom arcades are here. These are the geniuses, the brainchilds, the partners of T-Sticks. who built this system. And going forward, like I said, as we get into faster, more powerful chipsets, we'll be sticking with Retro Center. I think the guys do great work. They have a passion like I do. They want to make sure you're getting quality, especially for the money. There's no question you're getting it for the money. So thank you, Retro Center, for joining. I know it was kind of like last minute. And he was working last night. He was doing bug fixes last night for things that I kind of saw. Again, we're really trying to make sure this comes to you guys as good as possible. And Jason, he said, I think that the issue is with the R-Cade board. I still noticed some, even with Viper, because we recreated the amp circuit based off of Zhang's board. So I don't know if we would have gotten rid of it either. Maybe it's a little bit better, but I guess you guys will find out when you get the KV switcher for it. This might be more of a question for a custom arcade or Retro Center. Is there any way to play online with others with Viper other than with Moonlight? That'd be, I think, a better question for them, because that's all software based. There's no reason on the Viper why you couldn't, but they'll be able to answer that hopefully better in the chat for you. Well, there we go, a custom arcade. Nix, yes, Arcade supports RetroArch multiplayer, so there you go. I'm glad the guys are both here and they don't sleep like me. I think I got like 3 hours sleep last night, which is, I guess, good. Yeah, I went outside yesterday doing the lawn, which was a mistake. It was too hot, but my bushes needed to be trimmed. I paid for it. I am still like drained, but that's cool. Well, again, that's the whole thing. I still say this a lot. I say this a lot, but I am not a large corporation. I am one of you guys. I'm a gamer, but I'm just trying to get different people to work together to make just a better product overall. And I think now with Viper, with the arcade, custom arcades, Retro Center, American Gear Company, New Wave Toys, I think it's finally starting to come to fruition where we can start to not only mold, but be able to, when we want something, get stuff to work in a way that's proper for you guys and make everything better. That was my whole goal this entire time, which is really a shame with Arcade 1-Up and the path they decided to go instead of working with us. And I was giving them free time, free everything to burn me and burn the community. Just shows where some companies are at. You know, New Wave Toys, I will say, is very much into making sure you guys get your money's worth, and they have a passion as well. That's the thing. They have a passion for this. I have a passion for this. That's the thing to look for. Arcade, custom arcades, those guys have a passion for this, and that's why I'm really lucky to have partnered with them. And it's funny how things turn out in the long run, you know, because I really was hoping to work with the Batacera team, and there's nothing wrong with the Batacera team, but they are not looking to really work with someone. They're looking just to make their thing and put it out there. And Arcade, Retro Center, Custom Arcade, they still, I think still work with Batacera and those other teams, but they also made their own arcade because they really wanted to focus on making something as good as it possibly could be. And that's what I'm trying to do as well. Trump or die. Correct if I'm wrong, but the KVM switcher, could I install an OG board and a gold cap? Yes. So that's a great point. So when you get the iArcade switcher, okay, obviously the Viper is connected to one port, and the gold cabinet or the legacy cabinet will be connected to the other. But absolutely, if you can get your hands on a legacy board, you could absolutely put it in the gold cabinet, 100%. In fact, I'm going to tell you something else here too. I mean, we're including the Viper because the whole point was I wanted to make an easy way to go between two systems. But technically, you can put a Raspberry Pi or a PC or anything on one of the other ports. You can have the original iArcade on one port and pull out the Viper and put a Pi 5 in there, or put a PC there, or not use the iArcade board and put a PC or Pi and have the Viper on the other side. So the switcher, and when we go looking back in the video, I was hoping to make it like the Viper with the switch of like $50. Again, speaking from someone who has no idea how to engineer things. once we started doing the engineering, it turned out to be such a more huge project. And then we said, if we're doing this, you might as well try and make it better for other things as well. So that's why it's like $120. So I do apologize for that, but even for that money, you guys are getting a hell of a deal. And Nix, thank you. Again, you guys are family to me. You guys are like all I have. Huh. I appreciate you guys. I really, really do. Here's the Retro Center again. For the multiplayer net play, you can browse the lobby of the current games or start your own for your friends. To join, you may need to adjust your network router settings to host the games. That's really cool. I mean, I'll have to look into that myself because I just have never done that. I'm not someone who plays online. I think the first time I ever really did it was with the At Games Legends when they first put on that feature with the Tech Buzz. I think Retro Ralph and Cool Toy were all on the same stream. One of the few times that ever happened. I played that way, but like for me, over Wi-Fi in my house, it just wasn't ideal, but maybe for you guys it'd be different. And I only paid them $50 for this here. We love partnering with Glenn, GRS, and T-Sticks. Glenn has been putting R-Cade through the paces and been fixing as we go. I only paid him a couple bucks to say that, you know, but they're really good guys. And that's the thing too, is when you're doing something like this, people don't realize it. You only realize it when you get it. You get the finished product. It's been months and months and months of working a full-time job, then coming home, testing, prototyping, building, weekends, days, times away from family. That's the part you really got to thank these guys for, because that's what you guys don't see, is the time behind the scenes, hours and days of working on this stuff to bring it to fruition. But I really think you guys are really going to like how this has turned out. And again, this is just the beginning. The R-Cade 3566 and the Viper, the current Viper, is what I expected it to be, a retro gaming machine. But the Viper Venom will be coming out in the future. That's an R-Cade 3588. When you want something that's got literally horsepower beyond your expectations, that'll be coming out in the future. And that also will be coming from the team of R-Cade and Custom Arcades. These guys know what they're doing. And that's the thing too. I mean, I want it for myself. The funny thing is, you know, I had R-Cade 1-ups, and there's no, I mean, everyone knows I have no love for them. I do like the Star Wars cabinet and the Tron cabinet, even though they stole my joystick. I still like those cabinets, but I find myself only playing now the iArcades, mostly from the MIA board, you know, the Mystery Encoder board that's in there, because that board and the customized games for it have gotten so awesome. And then my Viper switcher. So I only play the Dragon's Lair and my Arcade. I do have the At Games Legends Ultimate, but I don't play anymore. I may get back into it, but those are probably the only machines I'm end up keeping, just because they have the best controllers in there and the best quality machines. So that's it for me. Right, so customized, this is exactly what I was talking about. So Battlestar is great. They're a good team. I reached out to them, the main dev team, for years, just trying to get some traction, but it wasn't really to a Custom Arcade and the Retro Center that it really came to fruition. But they do make a great product, but they do have a different goal though. R-Cade is dedicated to the best performance on the rock chip-based devices, which is what you know, iArcade uses, what I use, what At Games uses. I think for the bang for the buck for the chipset and the GPU, it's the best thing you can get out there, and to have these guys working on it is just phenomenal. Yeah, so if you do have an original board and you want to, you know, to be honest, there were less than 300 gold machines ever shipped. Okay, so with that being said, you might want to just put that gold and put it away, keep it somewhere safe as a collectible versus actually using it. So if you do want to put your original one in there, absolutely could. Totally could. Because we include the connectors for the original and the gold. So we don't care which one you're putting it in. So you definitely could do that. That's what it's become. Absolutely. The problem is you can't get them anymore. So that's why I'm saying in the future, working with the American Gear Company, that I think that's the next best place to go. But I've said it before and I'll say it again. I do have plans personally for a full-size arcade, but it's going to be different from what's out there now, because I have, being a gamer, being someone who lives in a house, I think there's certain things that no one else is understanding with the home arcade. It's probably not going to be out. Maybe I may have to do a Kickstarter on it, because it's going to require some infusion of funds. My team and myself are already stretched with current projects. But if I do a Kickstarter for a GRS full-size gaming cabinet with my controllers and my other things in the back of my brain that I think you guys would want, if I can get that Kickstarter going, I'm just trying to find out how much I need to raise. I can get that started and come to fruition a lot sooner. And I'm telling you right now, the machine will definitely take the gaming community by storm. But I can't go into too many details, because we already know other people are more than willing to steal someone else's ideas. So I have to wait on that one. Yes, as far as my understanding is that there were less than 300. There were 300 total produced, but I don't think 300 were actually sold, from my understanding. And a bunch of gold motherboards actually went to American Gear Company. He bought them out. Jong and the team made some promises. Since then, I don't think we have any of them left, but they never got into a machine. So, correct. Wow, you have 5 gold cameras? The thing is, it's a shame, because the IR-Cade machines were just the standalone. I had bought, when they were discontinuing, they were selling their stands for like 40 bucks on Amazon. I bought a couple, and actually, Glenn Baisley, I gave him that stand with an MSX on there, because I'm trying to clear out some space. I'm trying to reduce my collection. I had a bedroom that was used upstairs that I'd hoped to be used for something else, but that didn't pan out, unfortunately. So I have an empty bedroom anyway. Yeah, I'm trying to thin out the herd. I probably will always keep the IR-Cades and the At Games Legends Ultimate, but the rest of the machines will probably go at some point. Yeah, it is rare. It is very rare. So now that you mention that, I will probably at some point pull my gold motherboard out as well and just leave it unpowered. Because if I want to play IR-Cade, I do have the original. And actually, I do have, to be honest, I do have an original IR-Cade board, but I dropped it in doing some of my work, and a capacitor flew off, and it's been buggy ever since. So I'm not sure if something else maybe got damaged, but if I can get that working again, I'll probably put that back in the gold cabinet. That's a good idea. I'm telling you, I probably should talk to you guys about it, at least give you guys a heads up. But I want to make a full-size cabinet, one that is both heavy, so when you're playing it, it doesn't move. However, you can make it light when you want to move it. That's one of my key things. And I probably should have just said that, because I'm probably giving people ideas, but people don't realize when you have these full-size cabinets, you do need them to be heavy so you can play them, not move. But when you want to move them, you don't want to have like 5 people move it. So I have ideas. That's one of the things. And of course, I've made public other things I want to have done on it, but I think a Kickstarter is going to have to get started. But to have a Kickstarter, you have to have a prototype. So that's where my problem is lying right now. I can go on, other types of ways to raise money, but people think it's shady. I hope at least people realize my track record right now is I'm not going to be shady. So I just need funds to make this particular project come in. So that's one problem. I think Kickstarter may not be possible because I have to have a prototype, and I don't have a prototype. I may have to go on another service, but I'm hoping that people realize that I'm not a shady character. And if I can make the goals, it comes to fruition. If it doesn't, the money gets refunded. But we have to see. I still got to talk to my team about it. Yes, I saw that. So that's very cool. And it's a shame that they couldn't make that cabinet. A lot of people were excited for that cabinet. Well, the thing is, I don't want to take your money. I want you guys to save your money, but I want to make something that is better than anyone else has out there at a price that you guys would be like, he's insane. That's I always like those Crazy 80 commercials. If I can get that guy back, maybe we can do a commercial for me. He's insane. The answer is yes. And the way I'm going to do it is a way that, well, we'll have to wait to talk about that. But yes. Well, yes and no. They absolutely have original boards, but they did have some gold boards. They didn't have many because not many of the gold boards were made. That's what I'm saying. There was only 300 produced. So American Gear Company absolutely had, I want to say they had like 8 or 10 gold boards. And some of those boards went out to people who were trying to work with them. I don't want to go into who that is. Not for bad reasons, just that I don't know if they want to be called out saying that they have a board. Maybe someone's trying to say, please sell it to me, please sell it to me. But he did have a couple. I know he kept one for himself, or 1 or 2. So American Gear Company kept 1 or 2 of those gold boards. But what's funny is the original board is the nicer looking board. Like they put all this money in the original design, a beautiful white board, beautiful stuff done to it. And that's the one that's mass produced. And then the gold one, which they should have did the first time, made a less expensive board, but more rare. Correct. So that's correct. So my full size would be heavy yet light, sturdy, but easy to get around as well. That's one of the key features of it. And of course, having all interchangeable control panels, light guns, ways to store them easily. These are all part of things. Again, I'm probably giving too much away talking about it. That's what I do sometimes. I'm Italian. I don't know when to shut up. Boom. Well, like I said, the partnership here with the Custom Arcade and Retro Center, I think is one of the best ones, best choices we could do. I'm just hoping that things work out well, things sell well, that these guys can do well as well. Because just so you guys know, we are licensing R-Cade from them. You know, we value them, and we have a full license with them. It's a good product. It's a great product, and I'm very happy to be able to come to an agreement, a licensing agreement with them, because these guys work really hard. I'm hoping in the future we can build on that like Legos, and you know, maybe it won't be SpaceX or, you know, Elon Musk money, but I'd be okay making a couple bucks, because right now I'm not. I'm not, but I'm making people happy, which is just as important. So any other questions? So I want to make sure if someone asked a question and I missed it, ask it one more time. And again, I'll give a promotion again for if you have a Raspberry Pi and a regular case, get a Build-A-Cade for $50, $49.99. You'll have the best Raspberry Pi case for Raspberry Pi. Actually, 2, 3, or 4. The 2 does work. You probably could put a 5 in there, but we haven't officially sanctioned the 5. But for $50, you will not get a more beautiful case that you can actually play. Just saying. Or if you wanted something else, 30% off on everything else. It was a good price when they were doing it. It's just a shame that things didn't work out. I mean, when I was with John the whole time, and he was really trying really hard to keep it going. I mean, he really wanted to keep it going. He did not want to have it fail. And literally at the last minute, in typical fashion, we had someone on board, and it just did not work out, unfortunately. So we have machines now that maybe one day will be worth a lot of money. All right. So I think with that, there's been no other questions I see coming in the chat. I want to wish you guys, it's almost 12 o'clock, so we did a pretty good live stream. I'm not sure how long it's been on for. But I'm going to wish you guys a happy Sunday. Hope you guys have a great rest of the weekend. Enjoy it. Monday's going to be here before we know it. But remember, it's no fun stuff. It is. Just take a moment to wish family, friends, remind them you love them, that you care, because tomorrow's never promised. And but With that being said, I appreciate each one of you guys who joined the stream. Any questions? I hope you guys are really happy with the product when it gets released in about a month, just to make sure that the R-Cade and the Viper are playing nice, and they are. Don't make you think that they're not. We just really want to make sure every single thing in there is working perfectly. And again, if you do want to go with Authentic Studio, you're not going to find better prices on anything that you may need for your retro collection right now. The sale will not be going on much longer, so if you're on the fence, I'm telling you, this is the time to buy it. But with that being said, Jason, I appreciate you and appreciate everyone else in the chat. I want to wish you guys a great Sunday. Thank you for joining, and game on.
Are you looking for that arcade experience at home? If you don't have the space for a full-size arcade in your house or endless funds, then you need the GRS Build-A-Cade. It's arcade quality without the arcade price, from someone you can trust. The GRS Build-A-Cade is a very simple, easy to assemble 1/6 scale arcade computer you can build yourself. You can buy interchangeable controllers for every gaming option you need to play the games the way they're meant to be played. You can also design your own artwork or purchase artwork separately to make your GRS Build-A-Cade look like the machine of your dreams. The GRS Build-A-Cade is also the only home system STEM certified. Come see what all the YouTube creators are raving about. GRS Build-A-Cade.
Game on.
Sit, Blue, sit.